Today's show is brought to you by Cheesebox. That's right, Cheesebox. Every month you get a new box full of freaky cheesy flavors.
When you have cheese, you eat cheese. Cheesebox.
You know, there's a study that came out recently that 59% of all Americans don't eat enough cheese.
Oh my God.
A double-blind, peer-reviewed study?
Yeah, exactly.
Cheesebox. If cheese were available, you'd probably have some.
I'm all alone in my room. I go insane if you won't sleep with me. I'll still be with you. I'm gonna meet you on the astral plane. Astral plane, dark at night. Astral plane, or I'll go insane. Let's all be wizards and fly around in the sky. Let's all be wizards, immortal we could never die. Let's cast some spells with all of our dear friends. Let's all be wizards, the magic it would never end. And we'll fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky.
I would settle for pickle guy.
No, listen, everyone. All right, everyone, get ready for the hokey pokey.
Oh my God.
Hello and welcome to Let's
Ask
Just
your-
Be Wizards, a bi-weekly podcast that delves into the dark arts in order to answer the age-old question, can I be a wizard? I'm your host, Adam Hilton, and to my left hand is,
I'm not your host, Courtney Conley.
and to her left hand is,
Max Lehman, Count of the Chocolate Dimension.
and who the left hand is.
Hopeful roller rink DJ Drew Cox.
Through the course of this podcast, we will attempt to cast spells, channel the dead, influence world politics, and everything else under the moon. So strap in for the show that will free your mind where your ass won't follow. This week on Wizards, Astral Projection. All right, how's everyone's magical weeks been going? Could start anywhere around the room.
Just get ready to get the courage up to ask that special someone, because after this song, it's going to be Couple
Oh my
Skate.
God.
All right, that's magic.
Astral skating?
Anything magic happening with you, Max?
I don't know. I can
Nah, nothing.
I kind of experienced this magical thing the other night. I was sleeping in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the birds were just circling around my car, and it didn't really go anywhere.
Kind of Cujo style, waiting for you to be a weak moment where you might have to crack the window and then jump in and peck your
Well, I
eyes.
do a little whistling, and they'd go like up or down. And it was kind of weird.
So you controlled the birds.
I might have been
Sure.
dreaming. I don't know.
Shamanic.
Yeah. I had an interesting dream. No, it actually wasn't interesting. Even for a dream, this wasn't that interesting. But I'm going to talk about it later when we get into our subject. How about you, Courtney?
I had something
on the
happen.
limbo
The
stick.
only thing really that I could think of is that I had a guided sort of I don't know. It was my therapist is also a spiritual.
You do guided meditation
Therapist.
kind of things?
She
and
does
that kind of
regression
thing?
therapy and
Oh,
all kinds of
nice.
weird shit. So I went in thinking that I wanted to do regression therapy.
Is that where you talk about things you regret?
She goes into like even into past lives. So
Oh, things you regret from that you didn't even do yourself. That sounds productive.
well,
Now that's past life
sometimes
regretting.
you need to do
Oh,
it to release
okay.
the trauma.
Ah,
So but I'll talk about that more in detail later because it has to do with a little bit of astral projection
Right,
stuff.
We've all kind of had some experience.
can I talk about what I actually did for magic this
Yeah,
week?
no. tell
Oh,
us.
in the waxing light of the gibbous moon, I went to the river and decided to summon a shadow walker. I played a prank on a guy who lives in his car. by leaving a Magic the Gathering card somewhere nearby. But not because Magic the Gathering cards are particularly magical, just because they got weird monsters on them. And I was able to use many of the words written on the card in context. So should he find that, he will think it's an odd coincidence.
Was it a Shadow Walker on the card?
No,
was it a
it was
Vorpal
not.
sword?
It looked kind of like a Shadow Walker, but it's not what the card was.
I'd love to summon Shadow Walkers.
sounds like just general mischief.
It was
Doesn't sound very
no.
magical to me.
I got the Shadow Walker to show up though. I did it. It was successful.
You saw it?
I unleashed
did you
it.
talk to it?
Shadow Walkers are not things you see. They're things you talk to. Thank you,
Beware,
Courtney.
beware the Jabber
they talk back?
Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, is this a schizophrenia thing, or?
Does this have to do with your gang stalking?
It has
Your
nothing to
recent
do with
gang
either
stalking. Oh
of
my
those
God.
things, and you know, some nights I don't. Does this have to do with schizophrenia? Like, do you sleep some nights? Some nights do you just not sleep? Are you creeping around the river, messing with weirdos? Like, what seems do I seem mentally divergent to you in any way?
This sounds like Far Cry Sacramento to me a little bit.
A little bit. Max is the only one who even got close. So
What?
yeah,
How
that's
did
the
I?
closest any assessment anyone has here so far.
All
I'm
right.
just
But,
really
um,
fucking with you because I'm up to mischief myself.
I'm not. Oh, so okay, yeah. So you are connected to the gang stalking then.
Wait, what?
Wait, so what do you
recent
know
rash of
about the
gang
recent
stalking.
rash of gang stalking around East Sacramento?
I don't
Rite
know
Aid?
anything.
The Rite Aid
Of
in
course
East,
you wouldn't.
Well, you would say so. The Rite Aid in East Sacramento is a common epicenter for gang stalking here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It has no magical effect, but apparently, some cast members of this show have been implicated.
Sightings have been
Oh,
made.
I just had a vision. So the gang stalking around the Rite Aid, and you capture a gang member and like put them under, and then get like a biopsy
Okay, we use their stem cells.
and use their stem cells.
Drive them out
Okay.
to Walnut Grove.
Right, driving up to Walnut Grove.
Participate
Smells
in a
like
study.
stem cells in the vans.
Oh my God!
This
all so
ain't no
connected.
medical study.
All right. Well,
I'm glad
I really
said
don't
no.
know what we're talking about.
We're talking about
Neither does anyone
doing
listening.
wizard magic.
Okay.
all right. So, Andrew, are you ready to hit us with the news?
Yeah. So, Mexico was about to make doing witchcraft illegal, but then all the poor people whose literally only job it was to be fortune tellers were like, shut the fuck up. You're not making that illegal. I've no other skills. I've done nothing else. And if I don't pay these people who shake me down on a weekly basis, I'm dead. You got to be kidding.
All
And,
of Mexico's banning it?
they were going to. And then all the fortune tellers and wizards were like, fuck you, the fuck you are. And someone paid enough magical bribes to, I suppose, keep that from happening.
And then-
or these wizards are that damn good and they just cast a spell to make their government change their mind. If only American wizards were as effective, but that doesn't come as a surprise to me.
Yeah, why
that
are there- there's so many
that
great
wizards in
psychics in
Mexico are
Mexico.
somehow better at doing the work than
Didn't,
Americans are. That's a surprise. That should not come as a surprise to anyone. So Mexico was about to straight up ban doing magic, and then they didn't.
Who's El Presidente over there right now?
That would be Peña Nieto is president. Yes.
Didn't the Pope recently canonize these two?
Yeah,
kids
those
from
kids.
100
Those
years
kids
ago?
who were hallucinating. Who were seeing the mass hallucinations.
He's like, boom, you're a saint.
And they got sainted today. Just today that happened.
What's that?
They got canonized. All right, back about 100 years ago or so, these two, farmhands, essentially shepherd children, as they like to be, as they've been canonized as, but because it's so biblical and perfect, shepherd children. But they were children, they were farmhands, and out in the field they saw an amazing apparition of the Virgin Mary, which somehow is considered their witnessing of this miracle has made them the miracle workers, and they have been made saints. So good. And you know what? I knew their names this morning when I was reading.
You have to be
this
martyred
story.
to be a saint, don't you?
Oh, they got totally messed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They probably had heat stroke. And
Oh, they
wandered
totally
into-
got messed up. One of them died when they were a little kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like they didn't. Yeah, they got.
But was it by people saying you didn't really see that?
Oh, you think that kind of thing doesn't get you backlash, man? Come on.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I don't know
yeah.
what considers martyrdom anymore. I
Yeah, I guess not. Well,
Just dying
I mean,
after
yeah,
seeing
suppose
something.
so, right?
Yeah. All right.
Also, okay, so another thing happened, though. I noticed we kind of moved away from covering this stuff, which was apparently some satanic group decided they would sponsor a veterans memorial.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to get into too heavy a detail on that because seems kind of weird and maybe a little disrespectful to people that maybe you should be a little bit more let's
You
say
mean the
sensitive
Satanists?
towards. Well, no, and that's the
Being
thing. Like,
disrespectful to Satan worshipers?
And that's kind of what I think. As I was saying, we kind of moved away from that on this show because
Satan.
maybe we were conflating actually being demonic and satanic with being a wizard, and that those things, although you could like both of those things and be both of those things. I think we've established throughout the topics we've covered on this show that those are not exclusively connected to one another, and that they weren't really doing anything to conduct any sorcery. They were just trying to say, hey, we're satanic. We want to support veterans, I guess, which, is good. I suppose any group who wants to support a thing they believe in is entitled to do that. But I really don't think that had anything to do with just being a wizard. So
I think
Didn't
they're
make
like
the
real
cut.
life trolls. A lot
didn't
of the
make
time.
the cut.
But you know who wasn't a real life troll was the Chicago Rippers, and those people were actual Satanists that were bad people.
Yeah.
And
Were
I think
they
it's
like-
rare. It's
We're
usually
talking
like,
about
all
Anton
sorts
LaVey,
or-
Church of Satan, right?
Well,
no,
no,
no.
I-
no,
Anton
not
LaVey-
right now. But I'm saying who came to this funeral thing.
Yeah,
it
they're like
wasn't a
prankster
funeral.
Satanists.
They just
Memorial.
They just gave gave some money to a VFW
Okay.
and said, put us in the newsletter. We got a
But this-
statue proposed we're gonna do.
is the
Had nothing
traditional
to do with
Satanism, like
witchcraft.
Anton LaVey, sort of that group, the Church of Satan.
There's another
Like the
one.
official.
The guy that wanted
Which
to
is
put
not-
the Baphomet
Has nothing to
statue
do with
up.
Satan. What?
I can't.
They're a different. They're not
say
LaVeyan
with any,
Satanists.
The buddy
I can't say
Baphomet
with any
with the two
certitude.
kids.
On
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That organization, that Church of Satan, is different from the LaVeyan Satanists.
So, but once again, like, this is cool, but what does being a Satanist have to do with being a wizard?
That's what I was trying to say. Is there's a differentiation?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
that
I
group
think-
is just kind of like fuck you, everybody. Like you should allow religious rights for everybody. You
I
should
don't
allow-
care about
you know,
that.
Yeah.
I
They're-
care
they're
about just
not-
being a wizard.
Actually doing, yeah.
No, none of these groups seem to be.
Do you
It just
get
seemed to be
powers?
something
I
that
remember reading the
when I
Satanic
was,
Witch when I was like
Oh,
16.
I have that book.
It's great. It's great if you want to just manipulate the fuck out of men and you're like hate men. It kind of seems like.
Can I
that's-
read that book? I would like
I
to
threw
do
mine
that.
away a long time ago.
I have one, Andrew. I'll let
Or I
you
might have
borrow
burned
it.
Neat.
it. I just feel like it's really negative shit. And it really fucks with your head
Like-
as a woman to read it.
Like, do
It's a
something
man
for me
telling you how
so
to
I
be
It's
can
a man
pick
telling you
or-
how to manipulate men using your sex appeal and like.
What a
it's-
novel concept.
But it's really like
Yeah, wow, did he think of that all himself? What a genius. Wow, that's some real sorcery he was doing.
he gets down to the basics. It's pretty weird.
What
Like,
do you
certain
what-
things like well, there's magical rituals in there too, but there's also really practical applications of stuff like He was just talking about one thing that stood out.
Was
to
it
me
astral projection?
No, but one thing that stood out to me. Oh, you want us to move on? I see. Whatever.
This has nothing to do with the news anymore, and it also it got so far away from the point I was trying to make, which was being satanic has nothing to do with being a wizard unless you happen to be both, in which case you're probably just...
But now Courtney is tying in the satanism with the
witch
she was
thing.
talking about.
I'm
yeah,
just saying
see?
that it's not real witchcraft. It's called. I got into it because I thought it said it was like satanic witch, and I thought it was witchcraft.
It's cabal.
And then I
or-
realized it's just basically manipulating men. It's nothing to do with witchcraft.
Why don't... okay.
And the Satanic Bible is kind of just about being like a Pendulette style
So it's like cheating at
skeptic,
Mario Kart.
atheist kind of guy. Just throws cool parties and stuff.
That sounds fun.
Hedonism, basically.
I did that.
You guys are using so many big words. I don't know what to think anymore.
Sorry.
Pendulette.
It's okay.
Pendulette.
Like
yes.
pendulette?
He's a-
I don't
it's
know what
a-
that means, to be
A
A
honest.
pendulette. It's a believe it's some sort of an astronomical tool which
Well-
is used to steer sailing ships.
The reason I bring up pendulette is because
longitude lines formed by the moon.
he
You mean
was
penumbra.
he used to be a carnival guy, and so did Anton LaVey, the Satanist, used to be a carnival guy too. That's the connection.
Carnies.
I have
Yeah,
you know
they're
what's
both
interesting
atheists.
is that a carnival plays into my reports of this astral.
go back to those
projecting
reports.
this week. Funny you should say carnival.
All right, so that's it with the news.
That was the best news section we've ever done on this.
So far. All right. So
Way to fight and everything.
now on to the topic. First, what is the topic is astral projection.
Obviously.
But what is astral projection? Question mark, question mark. Oh, no one knows? Okay, I guess
have
I
no
got
idea.
It's space movies.
It's where no, it's where you go.
You project
And
your ass.
It's where you go elsewhere without
space
leaving.
movies.
It's like that Jamiroquai album, Traveling Without Moving.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, nice
Jamiroquai.
reference.
I think you've
Big proponent.
You've hit the nerve here.
It's the act of separating the human spirit from its physical body in order to travel across the universe unhindered by physical limitation, the laws of nature, and state legislation. I knew you'd like that. Some achieve this state through meditation or through dreaming. In most cases, is willed out-of-body experience, or OBE. There exists no definitive scientific evidence that body contains a soul with which to astrally project, but that hasn't stopped thousands of people from doing it anyways. There are many 20th century publications on astral projection, although only a few authors remain widely cited. These include Robert Monroe, Oliver Fox, Sylvan Mulden, and Herwood Carrington, and a guy named Ram. Y-R-A-M. Ram.
Yum.
Ram.
Yum.
In occult traditions, practices range from inducing trance states to the mental construction of a secondly body, called the body of light in Aleister Crowley's writings, through visualization, controlled breathing, followed by the transfer of consciousness to the secondary body by a mental act of will.
Can I just take a drug?
Or just take a drug. That's, yeah.
Okay.
Shortcut.
$20 and you're there.
What's that one? It helps you sleep.
Ambien.
Ambien. That's what you take.
Ambien.
That
And
does
stay awake.
Oh.
Hey.
have a very...
Ambien
that's the inverse of
didn't,
astral projection.
It's like
do
a waking
that
sleep
to
state.
me. Yeah, I was going around, but I think I brought my body with me. I just
The
rather
exact opposite.
than seeing what I was doing, I could not see what I was doing.
Ambien made me psychic and able to manipulate people's minds when I took it, or so I thought. And so-
Ambien is one of the few drugs I have never done.
yeah, and it's the one drug everyone should do because it's so
Right.
weird.
I want
At least once.
More weird than like acid or ketamine.
Yes.
Oh, it's way weirder than acid. Like acid, it's like you're in for a trip. Like, Ambien and Lunesta, both of those.
Oh,
ones. Yeah,
we have a-
yeah.
We have a contender.
Does it make you ambivalent?
Ambivalent.
Ambivalent, yes.
All right.
I'm
Princess
sold.
Lunesta is
I'm gonna try
ambivalent.
it. I'm gonna try it tonight.
Ambivalent.
Turn my phone off and hide it from
No, I
myself.
would. Yeah, you'll be playing hide and go. You'll play Go Phone and Go Seek later tonight.
Hey, Max, you got a history for us?
Yeah.
Now,
just,
Max, with the history of astral projection, all of it.
all of it, yes. I got this, of course, from Wikipedia. You know, everybody give a
No,
dollar.
you got it from Podcastopedia. Today's episode is brought to you by Podcastopedia. Do you have a podcast and don't know where to do any of your research for any of the information you need to share with your listeners? Just join Podcastopedia today. Podcastopedia. It costs probably more than you are making producing your podcast
Okay.
to join, but it's worth it. You will have quality content.
Anyways, Plato and Aristotle taught that the stars are a type of matter different from the four earthly elements. A fifth element, Willis.
in
Willis.
theaters right now.
Oh wait,
at
hold on.
Greenback.
Anyways.
Willis was all like, "We gotta get this thing got through here. Got to set 3.5 hours.
This,
3.5 hours till the EFT goes off. If we don't get this motherfucker
That's
out
one
of
of my
here,
favorite
I got one
movies. That's a
bullet
great
left in this
movie.
gun, and it's got
Hey.
your fucking name on it."
That movie is
was that
rife
the
with
Willis?
the cult.
I wasn't
info.
referring to any one movie.
This,
I was making a crawling
Just so
gesture
I get
with
the
my
punchline.
hands,
Yeah, that's
so
fine, yeah.
I think you probably pictured Bruce Willis in an air duct, but that was just the
crawling through air ducts.
Yeah, like
Why didn't you announce the
this
Fifth
bullet's
Element
got a
movie
million times
in
more
the-
to say.
in the news?
We could get this.
Anyways,
Wait, there's a new
this
Fifth
Fifth
Element
Element
movie coming
or quintessence in astral mysticism of the classical world, the human psyche was composed of this fifth element, Willis.
Uh-huh.
What you talking about?
Wait, Justin Willis? Oh no, not Justin. No.
See, I piggybacked the first joke
Yeah, that was
with another Willis. All right.
that was
That's
a gem. Another one of your gems.
Meaning there's a connection between the stars or gods in the mythical sense and human affairs. And my conclusion, basically, most people are only skimming the surface of a grander stack of layers of human consciousness, the Matrix type of shit.
Fuck yeah.
Bruce Willis wasn't in the Matrix,
See,
dude.
I'm trying to tie in like little scholarly
Oh, that
observations.
was nicely done, dude.
Bruce Willis was not in the Matrix.
Okay, why did you not announce that the Fifth Element is back out in theaters right now to prepare for the second film that the guy that worked on the Fifth Element is
I better
making?
go
Wait,
watch
it's
it
back
and
in the
take an
theaters?
Ambien.
Because I didn't know that.
Yes.
And why is
I've
it?
actually-
and did they
actually wanna
remake
go.
it? What are they doing?
They're just playing, they take an old
They
movie and
replaced
they're
the
playing it in
guns with
theaters.
walkie-talkie.
Anyways, since there was actually a lot of material on this, I'll wrap it up.
No,
I haven't
keep
really
going.
No, keep
touched
going, Max.
on Chinese cultural
Yes, give us
mysticism.
all
Yeah.
of that.
Certain Taoist alchemical practices involves creating an energized body by implementing breathing meditations, and in that state, creating a pearl of energy and circulating it through your body. So, like the magical pill, so to speak.
Yeah, the
You
red
see,
pill.
you see Shenron or Shenlon with like two spheres, and one of them is like consciousness, and the other one's dreams, or so, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's history, you guys. That was a little walk
It's over.
through
It's
the
history.
through
That
the,
was it?
through the mystical, historical.
Well, astral projection's really broad.
I guess that's like the ancient history.
yeah,
of
and
it.
I did a bunch of drawings on my notes. So
Okay,
Oh,
well, just
crazy.
put that up to the microphone for the listeners to check out.
there's this guy. He's got like a horn.
Uh-huh.
He's got a horn.
He's not kidding. This is his notes for
And there's
history.
there's a film projector
Okay.
and a screen. Fifth Element. Brought to you by Ambien.
How about some interesting facts about astral projection? Ancient Egyptian teaching present the soul as having the ability to hover outside the physical body via the ka, or subtle body. And in Japanese mythology,
It's key.
an Ikiro.
Ikrio.
Ikiryo is a manifestation of the soul of a living person separate from the body. Traditionally, if someone holds a sufficient grudge against another person, it is believed that a part of the whole of their soul can temporarily leave the body and appear before the target of their hate in order to curse or otherwise harm them, similar to an evil eye. Something to think about. Next
Okay,
time
well,
you're mad
I
at
guess some
someone.
of the changes they've made to the Fifth Element are instead of him being a cab driver, he's like a flying Uber driver, and his star
They
rating
didn't
goes
change
down.
it.
And let's see what else. Yeah,
Oh my God.
Gary
And
Oldman's
some Inuit-
Gary Oldman's gun only shoots ice. There are no bullets in it for some reason.
They,
Are you
they crash
serious?
into a.
No, I'm not.
They crash
Okay,
into
I
a
was about to be
Burger
really
Chief.
pissed off.
What about
vehicle.
Inuit
Crash.
groups? Do you think Inuits practice astral projection?
I think
hope
every
so.
I
culture has.
think so.
it's
All
I
that-
sure hope so.
All that snow. I mean, they have to dream of some
Greener
other color.
pastures? In some
Except
Inuit
blood
groups,
and snow.
people with special capabilities are said to travel mythologically remote places and report their experiences and things important to their fellows, the entire community, how to stop bad luck in hunting, cure a sick person, etc. So they do it. And in the Bible, Paul's second epistle to the Corinthians is more generally agreed to refer to the astral planes as, quote, I know a man in Christ 14 years ago, whether in the body I know not, or out of the body I know not. God knows. Such a one caught up to the third heaven. So that's a biblical justification for the astral
interesting.
plane. And then another little fact here, the last one I'll spurt out. In the Amazon, the Yaskomo of the YY, Yaskomo, yeah, I did pronounce it right, of the YY is believed to be able to perform a soul flight that can serve several functions such as healing, flying to the sky to consult
What?
cosmological beings.
Dude,
Yes.
isn't Soulflight playing Thunder Valley this weekend
I
at
would
the
definitely check that
amphitheater? I
out.
think we should go if they are.
Yeah. Soulfly, they're good.
Yeah.
The moon or the brother of the moon to get a name for a newborn baby. So you could go fly up and get a real moon baby name.
no books for them.
Yeah, no,
They
you
just
got
went up there and
straight to
straight
the moon.
source.
They didn't have iPhones then, so they couldn't just use
Yeah.
that. Flying to the cave of Precarious Mountains to ask the father of Precarious for
Precarious. God, these mountains are so precarious. God, they've just been,
They're in
just been
they're still in
strewn
the
all
way.
over the place. These precariously placed
God.
mountains.
for abundance
Fucking-
of game or flying deep down in the river, get the help of other beings. So yeah, you fly around all over the Amazon.
Kind of precariously, it would
All over
seem.
that troublesome
Yeah.
Amazon. You just
Sounds
fly
like
around.
Amazonian Dante Alighieri.
So those are just some interesting.
Well, they're the only ones that fly like Amazons.
I
An
feel like there's
eagle
a
warrior?
reference I'm missing.
Is there a reference we're missing with that? The only ones that can.
Never mind. Go on.
Oh, sorry. All right. So, do you guys want to get into some different techniques of astral projection?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what the
Absolutely.
listeners want. Is they want to know how they can do it. They don't care about all these stupid facts.
I think they
Yeah,
care. Yeah,
they don't care about
no.
us or our lives.
No, I think
Or the
that
Fifth
I
Element
thought they. Yeah, the
remake.
Fifth
Well, I
Element.
think they would care about that.
I mean, that Fifth Element remake. That's not
not a
for
remake.
this show. That's for our other podcast, Fifth Element Hour, where we are on episode 75, and we have been talking about the Fifth Element for 75 episodes.
it's a very occult movie. I think it's
It's-
important to bring
it's-
it up.
French
Talking
director.
element.
It's like my favorite sci-fi movie. But anyway, that's
Is
not
it
the
that
point.
good? I didn't get through the whole
It's
thing.
full.
just
It's
enough.
full of symbolism to the occult.
This
The
is
entire
great.
thing
the,
is.
you got this guy. He's like a priest, but he's also an astrophysicist, and I think that's a funny juxtaposition to have a character be those
But,
two things at once.
It's just
It
a
was
cute
really
little
good
half-naked
movie.
girl running around for nerds. That's all that movie looked like to me.
No,
No, man.
no.
But I've almost completed my
found a religion
technique
on that
for
movie.
I really
astral
need to
projection.
rewatch
But
that
I'm
one,
I'm
man.
eager to hear what I missed.
You know, you're the reason this movie's back in the theaters because you were like, all your friends were like, yeah, it was great. And you were the whole time, you're just like, yeah, look at this thing. All my friends are nerds. And it's like, no, you missed it the first time. You missed the point, and now it's back, and you have a chance. You can redeem yourself, but if you fuck this up again, man, you're not going to get another shot at this. You're just going to go around sounding dumb when you talk about that movie instead of actually experiencing it.
It's just
So,
a little
just because of the reason you're the reason
We
this
should
is
do
happening.
an episode. We should go all watch it in the theaters and do an episode.
We
on
tried
it
that in
and
an
link it
episode when
to
we
the
saw
occult.
we saw
Fantastic
we
Beasts
saw
and
the
How-
fantastic, we
Everybody-
saw the fantastic
and how to
Mr.
exploit
Beast.
them.
This actually has like a whole narrative to it that we could go over. and
everybody
tie to
should get the
occult.
God, that
chance.
sounds like a lot of writing. we're
Everybody
gonna have
should get
to
the
do for
chance
that
to
one.
stick it into like a clone celestial.
Ah.
Absolutely.
But we don't.
He does get it in that.
That's
With
why
no,
it's not worth it.
Willis,
He does.
Willis is like, I got an hour and a half before I got to get out of this thing, and I'm gonna
Pretty
get it inside
smartly.
this. I'm gonna get it inside this super being. If I gotta get it all night,
But she
I know
seems
I
so
don't got a
young.
lot of length, but I'm pretty thick, so it's gonna be great. And then it's. I know how to satisfy
right.
a celestial. Yeah, it's.
All right, that's enough of that.
Have you guys ever been to planetofsuccess.com?
No, that sounds amazing. What is it?
That's,
Well, it's the place where I got these awesome astral
is that where you got
projection
the
methods.
Provigil too?
No, that's
Oh.
not what, you know.
Oh.
Anyways, so this website has a lot of different techniques for astral projecting.
That's good.
I don't
Did
know
you-
what
So
one
they
you guys
so
tried.
should they
but
just go there?
Why don't you
or,
list off their steps?
I'm
All right,
stroking
guys.
my imaginary beard. Go ahead.
listen along? And I want you out there to do this, whether you're driving or at work or whatever. I want you to just, try and get into this state as soon as possible. All right, first there's the Robert Monroe technique. Robert A. Monroe was a pioneer in the research and investigation of altered human consciousness, whose experimenting with a group of researchers led to the foundation of the Monroe Institute that studied and tested his theses with volunteers in its research institution. The first step requires deep relaxation, but not so deep as to doze off into sleep. Just on the verge of slumber seems to work the best. Second, focus on the accomplishment of a state of vibration in which one tries to pull a certain type of vibration back into his or her head. In order to accomplish this, the projector selects through closed eyes a spot in the darkness that is roughly 10 inches away from the forehead and moves this point of mental reference until it is 5 or 6 feet at distance. After a while, turn this point 90 degrees upward into the direction of the top of the head on a line parallel to the axis of the body. You got that? The point of intersection can be signified by a rhythmic pulsation or a tinkling. And once you have identified this spot, focus on the mental pulling back of the vibrations located at that spot. All right? So you're driving along, you got your eyes half open.
Oh, is that what I'm doing when I forget? Oh, when I'm driving around aimlessly all night and I lose tracks of time. Is that what's happening? You think?
Yeah, I think it happens to you all the time from what I hear.
Oh,
I feel like you're just living one big astral projection sometimes. Just okay. There's a third step here, and another one too. Thirdly, the stage named "Control of Vibrations" has the main objective to utilize the vibrations under
wait,
conscious
control of vibrations?
Yeah.
You're playing the main stage, dude. I didn't know what, dude. What? I did not see that on the flyer
No,
for
no,
this
no, no.
festival,
This is the
dude.
third stage. Control of vibrations.
Oh, control of vibrations is playing on stage number 3. Okay.
All right. So to do this, you have to
I
systematically
gotta check
apply.
that schedule more. Like I didn't read that carefully.
The
No.
procedure is shown in the following. In order to obtain control over the vibrations, Monroe mentally conducts all the vibrations into his head, pushing them along his body to his arms, legs, toes, and then back to his head, thereby creating a rhythmical wave that sweeps within approximately 10 seconds to the toes, takes another 5 seconds to complete the circuit back to the head. You are to practice this until a wave of vibration floats through your body on mental command. All right, that's the third step.
Is there a wireframe GIF or something that to illustrate this?
Yeah, we'll
on the
have that
site?
up on the website.
Okay.
Finally, after achieved a form of control of the vibrations, the separation process of physical and mental dissociation can begin. In order to initiate the separation process, Monroe suggests attempting to reach with one hand, either the right or left arm, depending on your personal preferences, for any object, wall, door, wardrobe, etc., that lies beyond the reach of your physical arm. Your sensory senses will indicate, in the case of success, that you are touching and examining the object with your real physical hand. So yeah, just try to reach out and start touching stuff, and if you can do that,
Reach out and touch Faith.
yeah, if you can reach out and really touch Faith while she doesn't suspect it, she turns around and says, who was that? Then you know that you've done it.
When I did it when I was a youngster, that was the first thing I got into was astral projection when I was 14. Well, I did witchcraft when I was like 11, but then I like threw in my
Were
books.
you wearing astral protection?
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Okay.
And that's the thing that is so much different now is that I would always say to put up a protective barrier before you do anything, any travel in the astral realm, because this is a completely neutral place. So there are negative entities and positive entities there. So the negative entities are most likely to attach to you because they love mischief.
The shadow people.
How the hell
So
were you
it's-
successful at astral projecting?
At 14.
No, I mean, as far as this week's episode,
No.
have you attempted any astral projecting
not there
since
yet.
No.
that point? Okay.
So
that's kind of why I'm
You
talking
gotta-
about this,
you gotta-
basically.
So astral projecting is kind of like rolling your own dungeon, and you don't want to roll too high above your level.
I wish I was more familiar with
I think so.
that information, but I'm not.
As in it's randomized?
I'm sorry. Please continue.
Is that like a D&D thing or something?
Sounded
Like-
like it.
Okay, because I don't
Something
know.
like that.
It's definitely dungeon crawling behavior. What happened when you were 14?
So when I was 14, I left the church, and I was kind of being harassed for a little
And
while
you went
afterwards.
out for pancakes? Like, we left the church.
I
You went
left
out
the
for
church and I
pancakes.
dove
you
right back
quit.
into
You
my
quit, like,
esoteric.
quit church forever. You mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told them like this is crazy, like
Left
you're
the
crazy,
church.
you're a fearmonger,
That
and I
makes
won't
it
be here
sound like
anymore.
you were-
Mm-hmm.
And they like came to my house and stuff. It was really weird. And this is not like the Mormon church or something. This is like a good old regular Christian
Scientologist.
church.
Regular
Regular.
Christians. Yeah.
Really small though, really culty. But anyway, so I left and
Or
I
just
immediately like
religious.
released the guilt of being interested in like the occult.
I bet you did.
And I went back to what I was doing when I was 11. But instead I was like really curious about astral projection.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing I got into for whatever reason. And the internet was there at that age. So like I was like, oh cool, I can just look this stuff up online and find out how to do it. And unfortunately I did not use the protection methods. I just dove right back into it. And
The way we recommend to do things.
yeah, I had some experiences. I had a lot of states of gnosis that I was able to get into, but I never was really able to get fully out of my body. And like, you know, people will say they'll go and walk through the walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got as far as getting my left hand out of my left arm out of my physical arm and pushing it through the wall that was bordering where my bed was. And when I saw it go through the wall, it scared the shit out of me and I snapped back into my body. Because
Wow.
that's the thing with astral projection is if you let yourself get afraid, you have a tether, the silver cord, you know, that comes out of the navel, that whole idea. You have to make sure that you visualize that and see that before you go off anywhere because you need to be tied back to your body. But anyway, that'll just pull you back in if you get freaked out.
Is it like when you are dozing off and you think you're falling and you wake up suddenly like, ah!
It feels like that, yeah. I
Are
mean,
you
I don't know
starting
what
to
that
fall
is.
out of your body? I get this all the time.
I have that too. I think that's
Okay.
pretty normal. Everyone kind of has that. But I would say it feels like that, but that's not what that is.
Yeah. I hope not. 'Cause
I mean, I
that'd
don't
be
think-
too
I don't know.
Common, and not Wizard League. It's not that special. Okay. Well, what about the rope technique? I know someone in here tried that.
Yeah, that's kind of like what you were saying. Imagine some sort of view above yourself and see like your corporeal form.
Yeah,
climbing a rope out of your heart or something.
Ooh.
Do you mind if I go over the
I like
steps
that.
for that?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so if you're listening at home, at work, or driving, and you weren't able to get there that time, try this right now. So similar to the Monroe's state of vibration technique, the rope technique requires a deep level of relaxation. So really just sink into that chair. As the name of the method implies, the main element of it consists of an invisible, thick rope of twisted fibers that you imagine to be hanging above you, coming down from the ceiling.
Wait, where do you buy invisible rope?
You don't have to. That's the beauty of it.
So imaginary rope.
Imaginary rope.
Astral rope.
Once-
Right. Well, I mean,
Anyways, once you are ready, close your eyes and imagine what it feels like to reach out with your imaginary hands to grab the rope and then to begin pulling yourself upwards. Keep ascending on the cord and try to ignore the bodily sensations at best. It is very likely that you will feel your body getting heavier and heavier. Also, you will most likely feel a slight tingling sensation up to distinctive vibrations, pulsating like energy throughout your body as your chakras, the energy centers of your body, open up. Focus all your attention on the act of pulling yourself upwards on the rope, arm over arm, instead of seeking for and or noticing these breakthroughs. If you continue, you will experience a paralyzed state, in many cases unable to move your physical body, but do not stop climbing that rope, even if it as it
man.
gets
So
more and more
relaxing.
complicated to remain concentrated. Yeah?
A quick note about this technique. I did kind of like reach, the state where like, okay, I'm looking down, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's as clear as I'm looking at anything, but you got to realize that other people have ropes coming out of them, and you should be very careful not to go into like the wrong body
Don't
or,
cross
or
the
like
wires.
a dog or something.
At some point, you will come free of your physical body. You will definitely notice the process unfolding as your whole perception begins to change. Even if you have entered a semi-dreamlike state and are climbing up on a fictional ladder on the Amazonias. What? Sorry, just forget I didn't say that. Getting out of the body will feel like an automated process performed on autopilot, just like a regular routine that you've performed for years. So that's how to do the rope technique. Are you out there yet? You out of your body yet? You up the rope? All right.
Us or the listener.
I think I'm at an Arby's.
Okay, well that's good. Or I don't know if that's so good.
No,
I ate there
I
for the
think that's
first time a
bad.
month
Man.
ago, and it was
I
not.
had some mozzarella sticks from there.
They might do that okay.
It was acceptable.
I've actually never, ever been there.
Well, what are we doing after the show, guys?
I haven't eaten all day either.
Arby's in
I
the
don't
horse
really
track
want
it
Arby's,
is.
though, sorry.
Gotta go to the horse
Yeah,
track.
doing Arby's and
Horse
Cal
track.
Expo and Arby's. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Little OTB. Yeah.
those were the days.
Some Arby's, some
So,
horsey
Max,
sauce,
what
some
was
pony
your
races.
experience?
Yeah.
My experience is like I kind of.
Oh, well, we're gonna get to those later.
Oh yeah.
There's still one more method I want to
Oh,
give
oh.
people. So if you couldn't even freaking climb a rope out of your body and you're that,
You loser.
yeah, we're giving you one more chance. All right, this is the astral vehicle method.
This
okay?
is the new round.
Wait, I couldn't have.
Can I?
Paul Blanco's Fresh Start program. Are you tired of your old Astral vehicle? Are you
Old
tired
Skylark.
of other dealerships telling you that you don't have good enough credit?
Call
Hi.
1-800-GENERAL now.
It's Paul Blanco's Good Vehicular program.
All right.
He does radio ads around here. It's funny to these people and no one else. I realize.
Well, all our listeners live in Sacramento except
Also-
one guy.
He reaches beyond Sacramento. I'm from Stockton, and I
yeah,
remember
no,
those.
yeah,
Oh,
wow, that's
never mind.
whoa, that's
Uh-oh,
we
we
lost
lost
sound.
You got the sound up.
Wait, hold on. Maybe we didn't.
Wow, he's casting a wide net. That Paul Blanco, he's selling cars all over
I
the
remember
central
him from my
northern
childhood.
California
yeah,
region.
Stockton.
All right, so you ready to travel in the astral vehicle? Again, this technique requires that you be in a very relaxed, trance-like state of mind. As soon as you have reached this deep state of physical and mental relaxation, you can begin to pick a point on your body, preferably in your solar plexus or heart area. Start to visualize astral substance or lightning energy leaving your body out of your chest. Visualize.
Wait, so electrical stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Visualize the substance forming itself into an empty shell in the volume
Ectoplasm,
and
you
size of your body. Continue doing so until you can perfectly see the empty duplicate of your physical shell in your mind's eye floating above you, connected with your chest area. If you have difficulties visualizing the astral vehicle, you can also think of a body duplicate floating above you, which slowly vanishes, leaving an energy shell behind it. When you finish the forming of your astral vehicle, you can begin to transfer your point of consciousness from your body into the vessel. In order to accomplish this, it is advisable to collect your whole being, the characteristics that define you, your thoughts and selfhood, from your personality to your bodily characteristics in one spot, termed as the center of consciousness. This spot can be on your forehead, where your third eye is located, but also on your chest, depending on what you prefer. Fingers, continue to recollect. The fingers. Continue to recollect everything about you at this specific point. Your head, arms, the fingers, legs, and the awareness of self until this point becomes the center of your beingness. Once you have finished, let the center lift off from your physical body until it floats above you and then enters the astral vehicle that you formed previously at the exact same spot where the center was located in your physical body. You guys got that?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. That's
Pretty easy
easy.
to follow along.
That's
that
kind
one.
of close
Yeah.
to what I did, except they didn't use that terminology.
You know, I'm excited for the astral vehicle thing. I just don't know what I can get with my credit score, though.
Well,
Don't worry. You can pick an astral vehicle that's right for you.
the Chevy Astral van.
The Chevy
Chevy,
Astral.
A
yeah,
Buick,
a
a
Buick.
Buick Astral Skylark.
The
Astral Martin.
Astral
Astral
Martin. There we
Martin.
go. All right, let's keep these ones going, guys.
It is important while transferring your consciousness that you change perspectives, meaning that you begin to look at your physical self as you are now floating above your body. Continue
It'll
to pull.
freak you out,
Yes.
guaranteed.
Continue to pull more and more of yourself from your physical body into the vehicle and begin to make use of the sense of your new vessel. Focus your attention on smelling, hearing, and tasting, if possible, even on your tactile senses. An excellent reality check at this moment would be to reach out with your astral hand and try to touch the wall near you. When you are able to feel a wall that is out of your reach, you succeeded. Good job. And those are all the techniques I will share with you.
AstraZeneca is here to help.
Yes. Hopefully, by the end of me saying this sentence, you will have left your body, floated around, touched something.
Hey, Adam, you mind if I put my ice-cold, extremely beverage with a lot of extreme condensation on the outside of it on your wooden table here?
Oh, whoa, no, I would definitely mind. Don't do that.
I better go to coolcoasters.com then if I want to ever put my drink down anywhere around here.
Coolcoasters.com, what's that?
It's a cool new coaster site where if your friends want to be a bunch of Nazis about where to put your drink, they got you covered.
Like
Coast
me.
on over
I guess.
to Cool Coasters. Right?
Check it out.
Coast on down, roll on down to coasters.com.
To Coaster Town.
Welcome back to Let's Just Be Wizards, the wizarding radio show for everyone. And this episode is also brought to you by Wireframe Gives. Do you hate it when you go to a website and it's just a bunch of color and words?
God, if only there were a technical diagram in the form of a simply animated, not too complicated image.
Oh, but wait, there is now. Wireframe Gifts
Oh, it's
Coming-
all so clear to me.
coming to a computer store near you.
Okay. And we're back talking about astral projecting all that cool stuff that you do out of your body while your mind's not looking. All right.
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about our experiences here, guys. Where should we start as I look at all of you about the room? That's not me.
Who was successful at doing this?
Um,
All right.
Let's start with Max.
Yeah.
I kind of was successful. I used the rope method, and as for Courtney, highly recommended the whole protection spell or charm.
And as we clarified, that
We
wasn't
don't
the rope
recommend-
method that
and-
David Carradine
and
tried.
100%, yes, this
No.
is a different rope method from
different,
whichever Carradine brother
not the
did
same,
that
not the same rope.
thing.
Polycord. Not,
So you imagine
not
yourself pulling yourself up this rope into space.
jute. So yeah, I was pulling myself up. It was kind of like a cobalt blue cord, and just memorized whatever tap games, like press this button to climb out of the volcano
Wow.
type thing. And so tap, I'm climbing out, and then I'm looking down, and like there I am in bed, and I got this weird look on my face.
Whoa.
And so yeah, I just kind of
Wow.
floated
Well,
around.
Max,
and
you definitely got the. I believe there's credibility to this story because you did have a weird look on your face, and well, for the people who look at Matt, he's the expressions he makes go from very deadpan to being extremely very expressive at times, and he can have some pretty great weird looks on his face sometimes. So I believe that Max actually was looking at himself because he described looking at himself very accurately
and
in fewer words than I did, but still, I think there might be something to that. Man.
I also read the whole comic of the Max the night before. I'm like, all right, just find your outback. And
Well, was he astral
Someplace with
projecting
no
in that, or
rules.
was he just
They all-
mentally divergent?
they all
Right.
kind of were just to
Right.
some degree, like,
Well, yeah, he went to his
uncontrollably in some cases.
the Max. For those of you who don't know, the Max is a story of a mentally divergent man who believes he is a superhero, and he lives in his fantasy world known as the Outback, where there are no rules, and he's just right.
But Mr. Gone is there to make everything
Mr.
complicated.
Gone is this guy who's like worse than Bill Cosby and
This is
Jimmy
a comic
Savile
book, kids.
combined, and then he like wants to stop the Max so he can keep like raping, I guess.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the 90s.
By
so-
the way,
That was a thing you could just be like, what's the worst thing I could make my supervillain in a comic? I don't know, rapist, like, and that was
Like
their
a Death
idea.
Wish
That was
movie.
their idea
by the way, like a week
for their great villain, sorcerer and rapist, Mr. Gone.
a
Yeah.
week before I even like attempted any of this, like the
Astral
first couple
projecting,
times, it was like nothing. Like I'm waking up and like, fuck, I'm still here. you
Yeah,
know?
it's very frustrating.
Damn, I'm
But-
still
Takes a
alive.
long time.
I thought, okay, maybe I should shave
I
my
feel
head.
that way every day.
And so I did.
Is that why you shaved your head?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, he got this deal where I guess anyone with less hair than Bruce Willis gets to go see the remake of The Fifth Element for free.
Remake, Fifth Element remake. Cue ball, just a whole bunch
Well,
of cue
did you
balls
keep?
lined up.
There's
through
a
the
certain
hole.
spot on your head you're not supposed to shave. It's like a soul spot. It's on the back, in the middle and to the back.
Where the rat tail usually goes.
Are
yeah,
you
but a little
serious?
higher. Yeah,
No,
you're not
so
supposed to
that's
shave
why
that
that
part.
is
That's
a
kind of
thing.
like the Matrix. The
Whoa.
plug system into the screwdriver.
Yeah, the rat tail.
The
Yeah.
rat tail.
Because you couldn't grow out your third eye hair. Like there's
No,
gotta be a
no,
different
you just
place.
lived.
We're
you
talking
just lived
about
in
Avatar
Stockton in the
now.
'90s. That's all. I lived in Stockton in the '90s.
Did you
You mean
really?
like
I had a rat tail.
Did we
like-
talk about this?
Having rat
I
tails.
lived in Stockton
Have
in
you
the 90s.
seen my hair?
He's
I don't
got a
know.
nice,
Yeah, I've got a
rat
pretty
tail.
good
No, I lived
rat
in
tail
Stockton
going
in the
right
90s
now.
too.
actually.
pretty rad.
Yeah, that was the hairstyle. That was the style
That's
of the
weird.
time, man.
I didn't know that.
So that was my experience, and
Did
you
it
know,
freak you out to see yourself lying there?
to see myself lying there? Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Did that
so-
send you back into your body? or
No, I
did you-
just kind of looked away and then floated around.
You're
and
a
like,
brave soul.
And I'm like, oh, I got to put all this laundry away. And just make note of that.
So you
Don't-
just start going to do your mundane tasks as an astral projection.
Right.
of yourself.
Oh crap! I didn't really fold that laundry. I was astral projecting.
I was astral
It's all still
projecting.
sitting in the dryer. That's just my astral laundry. Oh god!
pretty much.
You're just kicking yourself for that one still.
Well, that's kind of what dreams are, aren't they? Is where you have to go do mundane tasks, but they don't go the way you want them to because you're not really in that world.
Ooh.
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
but
that's
maybe.
an interesting
Like,
way of thinking.
to
Depends
find
how I
an
see it.
artifact or rescue somebody.
Yeah, well, it's usually something like you have to pass a test because you're suddenly in a weird version of college mixed with high school.
I always ditch
You're
when that
late.
happens. Whenever I'm having that dream, I beeline it for the fence, and
That's
yeah,
your
it's just
solution.
a lot like high school. Actually,
I get
come to
the
think of
one.
it.
I get the one where I'm my current age, but I'm still in high school, and in order to keep going to high school, I have to do a little janitorial work, and it's just bad.
Wait, you have the high school dream, but you're the janitor also.
It's like
Yeah.
a beautiful
That's
mind.
like but backwards.
It's like,
Oh, God.
okay, Jimmy, we're
Well,
gonna learn. We're gonna learn
Hopefully
about
you'll
this
get
cleaning
that,
fluid here.
Hopefully
It's
you'll
got
get that high
benzene in
school
it.
diploma eventually.
Far less entertaining movie that would
Oh
be.
God, my wife is fine. She's still alive. I wish she would. She like called. She texts me a lot. Actually,
You know, I've
the
heard.
teacher just complains about his wife, who's totally alive. He's not. It's not torn up his life. My wife calling me again.
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
I've heard
is
that
not.
you're supposed to gain some really deep insight about yourself by leaving your body, by realizing that you're a soul, so that death is not the end.
Yeah,
I had that, but it was with an out of body experience that was not intentional.
What was that? Let's
I
go into your experience here.
Did a very shortened version, abridged version. I went to a festival, like outdoor electronic music festival.
EDM. We're all familiar with the genre.
Not EDM. It was old. This is back in the
Jungle.
back in the day.
Trance.
Yeah, there was some side trance and whatever.
Sounds
but
like psytrance to me.
there was a lot of different genres. But the whole point is just I was involved in the rave scene at that time. I was I think I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out to this. It was a 3-day festival. I
Of
was
legal
on
raving age.
a legal raving age, yeah. And I was on a couple hits of ecstasy. I was on possibly some ketamine. And maybe,
Hold on, were you on pot? Because
It's
that's
making me
probably
tired
what did it.
thinking
No.
Hold on. So, good. Thank God.
No, I wasn't actually.
Oh God.
Yeah,
wow.
I wasn't into weed, believe it or not.
Oh,
It was-
then you
it was the
shouldn't
hard
be.
drugs
Oh my
only.
God. Oh my God.
Yeah, weed was so bad for you.
bad.
I know. So yeah, I was dancing on stage. Someone gave me a double hit or whip it. So the balloon is like twice as big. For those of you that
Called
don't know,
two
what
whippets.
whip it is nitrous oxide, and it makes you feel really good, but it kills lots of brain cells.
You weren't using them.
So I wait.
You weren't
you.
even using them.
Fuck you, man. Yeah, I was. I was already on ecstasy. I was very much using them.
Then they weren't helping you. You got that out of
They
the
were
way.
they were
Okay,
using
listen,
you. I'm
let me
afraid.
just get through the story because that's the least important part. The important part is I start inhaling it and exhaling it into this balloon, and I start to see. I'm so fucked up at this point, and I start to see on either side of me the trees and all the people and stuff. I start to see them moving, but I feel like I'm standing in one place. I haven't moved, but everything around me is just rocking back and forth. What I didn't realize is that I was doing that on stage. I was rocking back and forth. And
Looking
then eventually,
real cool.
I'm sure whatever you were doing, you look cool as hell. Yeah.
this giant balloon,
God.
that I'm just like, like huffing, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm basically killing myself.
I know that's like
Suffocating.
asphyxiate.
And but it
Yeah,
feels
that word.
amazing. So then all of a sudden I'm
That's how
just rocking back and
Carradine
forth,
died.
and then
Once again,
boom,
back to
lights
that,
out,
yeah.
lights out.
Uh-huh,
I'm
so
gone.
you're gone, yeah.
And what happens next is I have no memory. I am just a point of
Blacked out.
consciousness.
Wait,
basically.
how is this just not a blackout from what you're
No,
describing?
hold on,
she's
because I'm
conscious
gonna
of
tie it
this.
together. I promise. So I'm just this consciousness, and I'm floating around, and it's really dark, and I'm just floating, and I'm rising. I can feel myself rising up, but I don't have a gender or a name or a past or anything. I just am existing. It's just like the opening of a movie or something. Like I have no identity, and I remember kind of like looking down as I was rising up, and I saw this little point of light, and I was like, what is that? And kind of zoomed in
Uh-oh.
further, and it was like basically this festival. And I zoomed in further, and there was this person on the ground, this woman, and I had no idea who she was. And there was people around her, and there's panic happening,
Oh,
and they had
no.
turned the music off, and someone was
I know who this
screaming,
person
medic,
is.
medic. And I'm like, oh man. And I start to get concerned just out of general empathy for this person I don't know. And someone said repeatedly, she OD'd, she OD'd, she OD'd.
Oh no.
And I was like, whoa, like, oh, like, is she okay? And I kept zooming in and zooming in. And I had this just ultimate compassion, and that's all my vibration was, just compassion. Like I couldn't feel anything else. But I had no identity again. And all of a sudden, boom, I'm in my body. I look up, and all the same people that I saw when I was above the body are in the same
Yeah, it
positions,
was
wearing the
you
same
were
clothes.
That person you saw.
And I was that person, and it took me a good half an hour to remember that who I was and what was going on. I mean, it took me a long time to get back to my ego identity, but just having that experience, the whole rest of the evening and then the next day, that's all I could think about. And I was just so tripped out on it, because that's the moment that I had the realization that I am not my physical body.
I have to ask though, was it scary being picked up? Didn't she say like there's EMTs there or something?
No, there were no EMTs yet. They had turned the music off, and someone was screaming at them to turn the music off.
See,
And
that's
then they yelled for a
scary.
medic,
It's like
and they
you
have
OD'd.
medics there. Well, I passed out is what happened. And I went unconscious, and no, they couldn't wake me up. And so I don't know how long I was out for. Someone said like it was only about 2 minutes.
Right.
Someone said it was longer, but I mean, I think they just realized everything was okay, and then the medics came, and they were like, "It's cool, she's fine," and they're really laid back in this scene with these kinds of things, or they used to be anyway, before people got really stupid and EDM became a thing.
Back when the Max was a viable comic book.
Yeah, when you could have.
But then they just turned the music back
It's
on,
okay,
and my
I'm
friend
the
walked
medic,
me
I'm Mr.
around and
Gone.
was like, "Your name's Courtney. You're at Still Dream. It's this is what year it is. I forget what year it was.
Allegedly.
Allegedly."
This is all
You've
Allegedly.
returned. We promise you've returned to the same reality you left. It's close enough. You'll never know the subtle
You're in the
differences.
forest. He
Yeah.
had to tell me like you're in the forest, but it's a festival. Like you're visiting here. You're from this town. And I was like, whoa, just like
I don't want to be from that town. Fuck you. No, I'm not. You don't know me.
I feel like that was way more profound than any type of astral projection
I'm
I've
from
been able to
somewhere
achieve.
cool.
Yeah. Well, it's
Maybe I'm lazy and I just need drugs
Intense physical. Yeah.
to have
experience.
those heightened states of consciousness, but I've had them without drugs too. But I just mean that one was so profound. That's actually what I feel knocked my course off in the direction of where I am today.
Wow.
With
With hanging out with us.
the
Great.
studying
Okay,
that I
yeah,
do
man.
is of a lighter vibration.
Dying
not a
for
darker
5
vibration.
minutes once is what got me here with you guys today. That's great.
Wow.
Wonderful.
All right, well, Andrew, how was yours?
Be prepared for a tale of intrigue. Have you seen that movie with the George Clooney in it and the Kevin Spacey?
Uh-huh.
And they go around staring at goats and
Yes.
shooting their bodies all around the place.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if I told you that movie was totally 100% legit?
Men who stare at
And,
goats.
Well, no, it is. It's based on
yeah.
a book that was.
So that movie's all legit because everything in that book is legit. And I happen to know this because I am in contact with one of the people who was a part of this program
Wow.
who informed me that the spirit vehicle method which you use is totally legit also. And if we like what you were saying before, they used acid, it helped apparently.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, spirit vehicle. You want to test out whether you can do this or not? We used to go all kinds of crazy places.
Together, like Mario Kart?
No, I mean,
Their vehicles?
he and the people in their psychic unit or whatever.
Yeah,
the
they
hell
do
it
it
was.
together?
They did, yes.
It was like a
Multiplayer.
quantum field trip.
Yeah, it was like multi-quantum field trip kind of stuff. So
Ooh, why didn't we do that?
basically, we
thinking about
I
it's hard.
attempted, and it's hard. I attempted to contact Adam during a spirit exit. But the spirit vehicle was a very interesting way
Did you
to describe
contact
this.
me?
I attempted to several times.
How? Because this is my part in this.
Well, I'm going to get to that part.
All right.
Let me explain to you the slight differences between the spirit vehicle, how you described it, and how it was described to me.
Well, you drove a car.
Well, no, I didn't. I did not. There was no car. Do you remember that movie with the Batman guy in it, and they got to go kidnap that dude out of that skyscraper?
Batman 3.
I was like Batman 3, I think. And they have that airplane with the helium balloon that snags the helium balloon, and then like it just whisks you away up into the sky.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think of the the spirit vehicle is the plane, okay? And your soul, all right, that's down here. But what you got to do is use these vibrations to kind of inflate the balloon and raise that up above you so that the plane can fly by and call the skyhook. Yeah, works just like a skyhook. Okay. So spirit vehicle works just like the skyhook. You just got to concentrate and vibrate. And, I asked this guy, well, if I'm doing this, that, or this, like when I'm dreaming and I feel like I'm walking around, is that my spirit leaving? And he's like, yes, most likely it is, but you're not in control of it then. Like you need to really concentrate. You need to think about where you want to go before you even leave. Like whenever they were doing what he called remote viewing, I didn't. I was like astral projecting is what I kept referring it to, and every chance he got, he would be like, "Well, remote viewing," but yeah, same. Like, he was not splitting here. Yeah, he was. And I was like, "Okay, this is a form of astral projecting," but he was like, "No, it's a very technical process. It's called remote viewing, astral this, astral that, whatever." I'm explaining how this actually works. Was kind of his attitude about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, he insisted on calling it that. Like he said, we'd always have our target established. We'd know who we were looking at or looking for. Like, try to tune into that. We would know where we were trying
How
to
would
go.
you tune into, like, say, a photograph of Fidel
You look at
Castro?
it, well, like a photo of Fidel Castro, good example.
I mean, that photo was taken years ago. How
Right. I didn't do that.
Okay.
So you make assumptions of where this person's been,
well,
and
Another individual, a mutual acquaintance of both of ours, was convinced this was all bullshit. He's like, "I'll prove to you it's not, and it's super easy. I'll come astral project myself into the next room, and merely my presence here, or my remote presence here, will be enough for me to start shouting a number at you. Essentially, you won't hear it, but your subconscious will hear. Your spirit self will hear this number, then."
Relay it to me.
Relay it to you. And first try, they got the number. He did the thing, went and woke the person up and was like, "Hey, say a number." She said the number. He handed her the piece of paper. He's like, "There's the number. Am I still full of crap?"
Wow.
So he was good at it. I mean, that's why he was in psychological operations. So after getting a few pointers from him, I attempt to do this, and I'm like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna go fly over to Adam. Probably around the time I know when he's out smoking a cigarette, because I know where he likes to smoke cigarettes, and I know
Allegedly.
how often he does this. And I was able to go and observe you at the tail end of a smoke, and I was trying to shout numbers at you, though. I did not feel as though that was going to be
I wasn't hearing
terribly
that.
effective.
3,
Yeah, you were not hearing
16.
Man,
it.
when
You were not
24.
hearing it.
if I'm not having a cigarette, I'm deep in thought.
That's what like you are. You yeah. That's what,
Something.
like,
Right.
that was what I did. Like no,
Brought
like
to you by
this,
the number 4.
this way that you're out there on the patio, fucking smoking is just like. I'm like I know where he is, so I can pinpoint him, and like I can picture all of it like as it exists, as it is happening. So I could tune in onto it, but getting through to you in that, like it wasn't like with those other two where the other person was probably asleep and dreaming already and easy enough to
What
reach
time
psychically.
Did you do this?
This was either the day before yesterday.
What time of the day or night?
It was in the evening.
Evening. Okay, like at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
It was. I want to say after 8 o'clock. No, sometime after 7 o'clock.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely could.
Yeah, I did. Okay, that I'm not. That's not. That part's not. I was not able to. What I was hoping was I could confirm this with you, other than just like, well, that is when I smoke, and I do smoke on the patio. Like that, I already knew. So I thought, hey, why
The
not?
front or the back patio?
It was a back patio.
Yeah.
Look, okay, so I knew where you were going to be doing this thing around the right time, so I knew where to go and what to focus on and how to project myself to this place. And somewhat successful at this, and with the skyhook method of astral projecting, you don't like really get to float out and see yourself. It just kind of picks you up and whisks you there, sort of like, whoa, okay. It's a very jarring kind of astral projecting.
So you could probably travel quickly.
Very quickly.
So you could go onto Mars.
Get
and
intel,
see
really.
all
Get a sensitive piece of
activity
intel
going
and
on.
come back. Well, here's what I did next. And it was kind of a stupid thing I did because I went and asked my contact about this later. And I decided I was going to go somewhere that I just know is there and they're not telling you about. They're not telling you they got that bunker
moon.
underneath. They're not telling you they got that bunker underneath Country Club Plaza, but they totally got that bunker underneath Country Club Plaza. And I'm like, oh man, I would sure love to see what's going on down there.
Urbex.
Hi everyone, this is Dan Bell. Welcome to another Hidden Government Complex.
Are they turning unicorns into
the
drugs?
Hidden Government Complex series. We're here at Country Club Plaza in Sacramento, California. This mall was constructed in 1968, and
Just look at the tiling.
The
here.
tiling here is
The
like-
Orange Julius.
You can actually see
Yeah.
where they
Oh,
removed
there's an
the
actual
tile
Orange
where
Julius
there
still
was
here.
the original signage on this Orange Julius is amazing. And good, the NSA actually has their old logo on what would be considered one of the hidden signs you look for when trying to locate a bunker. Back when they were still known as the...
So
anyway,
there's
all right,
an
anyway.
NSA
So I'm trying to get
operation
down to...
below.
I don't know who's doing it. I don't know who's doing it, and I don't know why or what they're doing down there. They're not doing the thing I saw, because I'm like, yes, I'm out there. I'm like at that place. I'm like, now I got to get underneath. You got to get down there. And then I'm just in a room where they're fucking killing dogs. They're just like killing fucking dogs. Like, and I freak out and I snap out of it and I'm like, oh shit, that was awful. And then I'm like, that's awful. No more astral
For
projecting.
sport
Well,
or
hold on.
for-
I'll get to that. I promise no dogs were harmed in the course of this film.
Oh, but you
How
just
do we
promised.
know?
That
Hold
you
on.
viewed
Hold on.
them
I did
happening.
not. Well, that's what
So
this
they
is
did
what
I'm very-
occur.
this is what
I'm
no
getting verklempt.
no, wait. I went and asked, and I was like, that was freaky. That almost seemed like it was specifically designed to hit on something that I currently was having emotional reactions to. And I asked him, like, okay, well, I go back, I'm like, hey, so I was pretty good at flipping around and viewing places with your method. If you go somewhere they don't want you to see, do they put, like, do they block you
fuck.
from going there with psychic images of types? And he's like, oh, all the time. What he explained to me what? And I was like, well, would they put something really horrible to like scare you away or whatever? He wouldn't acknowledge that.
Right.
He wouldn't acknowledge that one way or the other. But what he said was whenever they were trying to block other clever new agey guys who thought they were going to astral project their way into the psychological operations headquarters, what they would do would transport them to like a carnival.
Huh.
Like whenever he'd be like, that person knows they're here, but the only thing they can see is the hustle and bustle of a local county fair. And this was the essentially screensaver that they would use back when he was in doing this.
That's
He's like,
crazy.
we would
We're all
block
actively blocking.
we would
at the
block
same
things
time.
that we would block other spirit travelers from being able to remote view us. Like if you want to come remote view us while we're remote viewing you. No, you're not. You don't get to do that.
Wow.
You get to go to the carnival instead. Have fun. It
Yeah.
sucks. You're going to leave. Well, I think that now, what with how I think people are getting more tuned in as the years go by, that this kind of thing, as the human mind progresses in this modern world that we live in, like we become more connected to these kinds of abilities, or that is to say the last generation of people, it would have been harder for them to do this than this generation of people does. So, the people still blocking you, they're aware that there are more and more people out there, but just sending you to the wrong place isn't enough anymore. Mm-hmm. They need to scare you from ever trying to attempt this kind of stuff ever again.
Vehicle method, definitely not for me.
And he said something kind of like, when you're up in the vehicle, you've uploaded every single thing in your mind that you've done. And they have people who can look at that, who aren't looking at anything besides
stored in the cloud.
What is up there stored in you, and they can use that information to scare you away if they want. Essentially,
they can turn you into a Jefferson passenger.
Hacking the Akashic records.
Essentially, yes. So, I was very successful in my projecting the spirit. However, I found it no more easy than dealing with this stuff in a direct sense. Like, I might as well have been at my house yelling numbers at Adam, hoping that he heard one of them.
Did I get any of those right, by the way?
Well, I tried it again today, and no, we weren't. But that's the thing. I didn't get to the point where I was like actually watching you in that one. I was like, I'm just gonna try to psychically send him numbers because I get like the last two I tried were not even like one of them I can tell you didn't. I was there, but I could tell you didn't get the number
This
because
is like
you were
telepathy,
not listening.
you know.
The other time I was cheating. I know I hadn't astral projected to you, but I was like, well, if I can fudge the results, then I can combine the two stories and say, look, he even guessed the number. But that was kind of a Hail Mary sort of last-ditch effort, I'll be honest.
I think you tried something like that with me years ago. Like, I would know when the phone would ring, and I'd, like, have it in my hand, or I'd pick it up, have it in my hand, it ring.
Me and Max made a great team back in the day.
And then it was you. I'm like, Drew,
you were here
what
already.
What the fuck, man? How did I know you were going to call me?
You just know, Max.
I just did.
See that, and that's the psychic phone call. I was trying to cheat the number result by doing the psychic phone call, but you know what the guy told me? He's like, you're not much of a jumper, you're more of a bender, and I don't know what that meant. But
it's like a top or a bottom.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Something like some kind of psychic thing like that. I don't know, some kind of wizard
Either receive
thing.
it or you send it.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, did anybody have any dreams about sand recently?
A long time ago. Yeah, I used to.
Yes.
Or filling in like landscaping with
I had a
sand?
dream about sand, but not probably in the context you're talking about.
All right, well, I did this astral projection, what's it, guided astral projection on YouTube, and there's a lot of them, so, you could go check those out. try it out. They suggest that you do it right before you're going to go to bed, but to stay awake during the whole meditation, and then after that slip into your dream state and do it. And so I tried that, and I started getting ill. I don't know what it was. I put on the headphones. They might have had binaural beats or something going on, or I started to feel really sick and nauseous as I was doing it. So I kind of took a break off of that. But the next thing that, I guess that goes into my dream that I had that night afterwards. It was just in my backyard, and they had dug out all the plants and everything and just filled them in with sand. So.
So there were sand plants, or there was just sand all over the ground?
You know what they were doing, man?
Huh.
That's they were going like, we got that bender who thinks he's a jumper running around here. Can we get a full cleanup crew? We need to make sure he didn't leave any psychic clues around here.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Because I was shouting numbers into things. I was like, if he just touches this, he'll know the number. Kind of like, I was shouting numbers into everything. I think they were trying to clean up my number shouting in that area.
Wow, yeah.
Because I don't know, man. I had a dream about sand, but it was an hourglass, so that's a little different.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just was hoping someone would say like, "Oh yeah, no, I totally was was throwing sand at you in my astral projection."
I mean, I used to have sand dreams, but that was
but you're more into rope now. Yes.
No,
First
it was
quicksand,
when I was
now you like rope.
It was when I was like 6 or 7 years old.
Oh, you should save that for my other podcast, Sand Dream Encounters.
Sand steamer.
Sand Dream Encounters.
I didn't do any astral projecting. I've been sick for the past 2 weeks, pretty much.
But you had that cool OBE.
But I did have just yesterday. I went in to go see my therapist, who I said is, she's a spiritual counselor also, and she is really on point. I really trust her, which is, for me, that's saying a lot, because it takes me a long time to trust people. But she is, she's really good. We work well together on a psychic level, on a subtle level. And we went into this trance together, sort of thing, and she's walking me through the different...
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Yeah, she's a little bit older.
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Well, she's my therapist.
I bet she do.
Okay.
I always
just keep doing that.
Yeah. I always have to be so serious here because you're being so ridiculous all the time. I never get to be silly.
So I was talking to my psychiatrist. Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
she takes me.
all right.
See how bad that is.
Doing that
so
one?
she takes me into like
Courtney,
this
you
altered
can do better
state,
than that.
sort of. Shut the fuck up.
I was in an altered state.
I was in an altered state. I wasn't really trying to do him. I was just doing a
I don't
regular
even
one.
feel like myself when I am myself.
I'm so neurotic,
Oh
isn't it
gosh!
quirky?
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Okay.
And
Bringing it down, or bringing it back down. Okay, so, so she took me into this altered state of consciousness, and I was having lots of visualizations, which has been a block for me for a while. And strangely enough, after that session is when I had the most intense sinus pain from, like I'm at the very end of this sickness, hopefully, I think.
Yeah.
And so I just had the most intense sinus pressure right where my third eye is. And it was right after this happened because I saw I don't really see very concrete things. I see lots of orbs and swirling energies and different colors and things.
What's your favorite color orb?
The one I see the most is like a golden light.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. It's just what I see
What's
the
your
most. It makes me feel the most at
What's
peace.
your favorite color one?
Green.
You like the green ones? I knew a guy who controlled the green ones. He used the green ones to channel energy from other dimensions. And, he thought he was really good at it. But he would make them appear before me, and they would seldom do the thing he wanted them to do. But, Yeah, I knew someone who was really into green orbs. I liked the red ones and the silver ones myself.
Was this guy after your Arby's coupons?
He was actually after my Orbeez coupons.
Your Orbeez. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hashtag that.
Well, anyway, my experience was very healing for me yesterday. I haven't done that in a long time, so that helped me. And she does EMDR while this is happening for me. So EMDR.
She whispers about like
EMDR.
different
You put on
flower
headphones.
pots.
That's
and-
ASMR.
You put on these headphones that are kind of like barely like where so you can hear outside as well. And she plays this music that has this tone. It's the real true binaural sounds that go back and forth. They move back from left to right.
The crystal harmonium.
Which is supposed to help the communication between the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So it stops you from all these blockages to your traumas. And I have PTSD, so that's why I do EMDR, which is specifically made for releasing trauma. Mm-hmm. And then we go and we do, and then we combine. So we're combining psychology with spirituality by doing that, and then also going into this altered state of consciousness and this healing session, basically. So it was very powerful. I mean, afterwards, I just felt, I had this intense pressure here, but still, I felt like so much better. And like there was just like this really dark energy that I feel has been following me lately. It felt gone. It felt like it was just had been removed, and it was such a relief.
Did you hit that astral plane?
On the way? I was all over. I was in a bunch of different states of consciousness. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's always weird to come out of that and be like, okay, well now I'm gonna pay you for the session, and like now I'm gonna leave and go walk down the street. It just feels so weird coming out of there. I've been just like, whoa. It's like being.
You're like, you don't even care that check's gonna bounce. You're just like, yeah,
every time.
Great, every time. Oops, whatever. Yeah.
Here's my Rabobank check.
Yeah, it's a Rabobank, right? Yeah. It's Continental Bank. They're still around. Just go ahead and.
By the way, have you guys heard the song Astral Plane before?
No.
Really? You guys never heard that song?
No.
By who?
By the Modern Lovers.
I think
Astral Plane.
Hey,
For I go insane.
maybe.
I'm gonna meet you on the astral plane.
No.
What's your favorite color orb?
Oh, the black.
Yeah, I knew it, dude. Yeah, it is.
Polished black.
Yeah, dude.
Just
The real obsidian marbles of
Yeah.
No one's going to ask me my favorite.
Max, I'm getting to you.
Okay.
Max, we're getting to that.
Well, we already know.
But that's the
Max's
thing. We already
favorite.
do know that.
I don't know.
Max,
I like a
Max,
slightly
Max,
burnt umber cappuccino.
Max, but you know what the
orb.
cappuccino? Max, everyone else talked about a different thing for a minute, and then
I kinda jumped the gun there.
Then after
Okay.
they were having a separate thought, I would ask them about the orb, and I was waiting for you to do the same thing.
I just blew
before
over
I
it.
asked you about the
Okay.
orb, but you're like, just get to me.
Let's edit this
Screw
out.
the thing.
All right.
Screw the thing. I don't care about that. I like burnt umber. I want a cappuccino, and I want one now. Yeah.
No, he's saying that was the color.
No, I
Umber
know.
Cappuccino.
I know.
Is
It's
that a color? Is
burnt
cappuccino
umber,
a color?
burnt umber cappuccino.
What if
You know
amber
what?
was the color of the energy?
You know what? What if amber were the
No one
color
says-
of the
well,
like a
energy?
gold,
Yes, what
that's
if
like
amber?
Brownish orange.
Yeah, I guess that is my color.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're very 311 oriented. Which is not a bad thing.
Sorry,
You know,
Drew. I fucked it up.
No, it's all right, Max. It's all right. I had a plan for you, but you were just like, he forgot about me. Fuck. It's like, no, Max, you just needed to start talking, and I was going to interrupt you with the question, just like I did everyone else.
I ruined the riddle.
It was not a riddle.
Mine.
He likes
All right.
he likes Humber. He likes
Bert Humperdinck.
he likes Engelbert Humperdinck cappuccino.
Bert. he just called
Today's
me like he's an old friend.
today's episode is brought to you by Engelbert Humperdinck cappuccino.
All right.
The only cappuccino in a can, endorsed and bottled by Engelbert Humperdinck.
Each one individually bottled.
The Eddie Izzard home brand.
I just like canned coffee drinks.
They're good, and I love the musical stylings of Engelbert
Mr.
Humperdinck.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Anyone? All right. So I think we've explored this topic and shared our experiences. So, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Let's Just Be Wizards. Next week, we will have an awesome new topic and wizardly activity to cover. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. It's super helpful to the show. We will transmit infinite power to you through the ethers. If you have a suggestion for the show, be sure to send your emails care of letsjustbewizards@gmail.com. Or, just do it that way. Also, if you have a book or wizardly item you want reviewed on the show, send us an email. We can provide you with a physical address to send it to. As always, I am your host, Adam Hilton, with
Soul and body as one. Courtney Conley.
The frail derailer, Max Lehman.
Apt.
All right, everyone, get ready to clear the floor because up next we've got Backwards Skate.
Backwards? Why?
That was Diamond Drew Cox. Okay. So let's end it with a quote from Beelzebub himself. In dreams, the images in the mind and the subconscious merge with and obliterate the perceptions from the astral senses in a similar way that in daily life, the subconscious causes the external world to be perceived with the colorations of thoughts, feelings, images, and emotions. In other words, we daydream or we get lost in thoughts.
Boy, that beats Dracula's quote out of the park. I am the blood and it is real, or what is it? No.
The blood is
No, the blood is the life, and I shall have it.
Emo lyrics. And the blood.
And
The blood's so
and it is
real.
so real.
Yeah, that is a lot better of a quote. But, the guy's name is Beelzebub, so
Yeah,
you think you could trust him
Yeah,
to
dude, I would-
come through with
I
some
would trust him
sage
more than
advice.
Dracula.
Think he'd
for
have a-
sure.
He'd be more
Man,
of a
should we do
silver-tongued devil,
vampires
really.
next? Should we try and do vampirism for
Mystic-
the next show?
mystical-
Oh, man,
Psychic
that's,
vampires, maybe. I don't know. One
No,
of
like
those.
actually biting people and
Yeah,
drinking
running
their
around.
blood.
Oh,
We'll turn into a bat
we
and
should
fly through the
brainstorm
window.
not on air.
Is that
Hold on.
is that crossing wizard lines?
That's just dumb
Like
supernatural
aging blood in oak
crap.
barrels or
I might
something?
need to get out. I might
Let's
need to
just be
pull out of
mummies.
this contract.
We should
You're
be
stuck
mummies
for the next 600 episodes. Mummies, yeah. The next episode is The
Frankenstein.
Curse of the Mummy.
Mummies with Tom Cruise.
Next is Dr.
Well,
Frankenstein.
necromancy. That's one that I've
Dr.
been
Jekyll and
kind
Mr.
of
Hyde.
thinking about.
Next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
anyways.
he actually, he actually kind of astral projected those books.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have
He would-
one more episode, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to be actually moving to a different country pretty soon.
Don't say moving. Are you moving?
I think so. We'll see. We'll see what happens to another country soon.
How long will
Well,
it be away?
I mean, can we try to fly?
What are we going to
you
do
guys?
without you? I'm scared.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I think we're
Flight.
going to try and do this show Skype. Hold on. We
Flight,
just lost
flight,
our monitor.
Flight,
that's all.
flight.
We're going to try and do it via Skype or whatever. Or I could get one of you guys to just do it, and I'll just listen from
We need to
afar.
Skype. We need you.
Yeah,
You
I think we should do a
drink enough
Skype thing.
gasoline and you can fly.
Or that, yeah. Or we can astral plane it
You
in.
astral project over here for an episode.
All right, guys.
All right,
thanks
next
for
week's
listening to the
episode is
show.
going to be 100% astral projected.
Again? All right, bye.
Bye.
Immortal, we could never die. Let's cast some spells with all of our dear friends. Let's all be wizards. The magic it would never end. And we'll fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky. Fly so high in the sky, right into the night.
And you know what? Actually, they sent us a box for us to open up and enjoy ourselves. You guys want to check it out?
Yeah.
Not really. Oh, yeah, I mean,
All
yeah.
right.
It says here the opioid content is severely high for edible cheese.
What are you
regular.
testing this with?
I have a home testing opioid.
It
cheese
did. It
kit.
did say it on the box too.
Oh yeah, I wonder how they got this thing through customs.
I wonder what their control group was.
Anyways,
no, dude, they didn't. Cheesebox was just that guy in the park. We didn't actually get a web sponsor.
Well, Cheesebox will come to you directly in that case.
He said he was talking about a Kickstarter.
Anyway,
so
yeah, he did say he was going to try and get online. He was saying something about trying to get online, though. That was definitely something he mentioned.
Was he trying to invent a board game called Cheesebox?
Look, I don't want to lose this sponsor, guys. Let's just check out Cheesebox. It might be from someone personally, or it might have a website soon. So why don't you check out cheesebox.com and just see what happens.
Get back
See
into
what's
his
at
email
cheesebox.com.
address.
Let us know.